I hope you're having an amazing day. My name is Colin, and in this video, we're going to have a look at Verasity, a full token review and price prediction coming up in this video. One of the old school giants, so to say, did really well in 2021. This is where I believe majority of the people, specifically the people that follow the big influencers like Alex Becker, Elliot Trades, like we're heavy on Verasity, as I was myself, right? So if we look at where it was at one moment in time and where it's at today, we can see that basically it is currently sitting at 161 million FDV and a 15 million market cap. So that means a lot of the tokens are not circulating. When we look at the max supply, it's 100 billion, and the total supply here is 96 billion. Okay, so what's going on there? That seems to be circulating supply 9 billion. Okay, here we go, right? So 10%-ish, which was resembled here. Volume 26 million, which is very good for the market cap, but it's relatively low, and it wasn't always that low. So since inception in 2019, so this is really relative terms speaking an old token, it's up 105%, which is good but not great, because if we take the measurement to 2021, right, just this period, it went as high as almost like 8 cents, so 7.8 cents, which is, 10 times the current one would bring it to 1.6 cents times 5, so like 50 times higher than what it is right now. It is an infrastructure tech product, and there would be definitely some opportunity. So recently it got listed on Binance Alpha Spot, but other exchanges that are present, OKX, Bybit, MEXC Gate, KuCoin, the volume as of late, let's see, it has its up and downs, but the volume is still very significant, right? Sometimes it's only like 4 to 10 million, but here we're looking at like 600-700 million on certain days. Know exactly what's going on there, but it's now the volume is slowing down again. We just see this period here of high volume. If we look at the last year, it's been slow on the volume, between 5 and 10 million, I would say average. There were some peaks, and when I say peaks, like this is early 24, right? We're still talking about 7 times the level of where it is right now. And that is basically the opportunity that we're looking for here. We have an old school token, a big giant that has been in the space for a long time. Now, if we open the actual contract on Etherscan, you will also see this, right? Yeah, here we go. Almost 100,000 token holders on a token that is only basically 1x up from its original listing price if we look at the all-time price, right? Now, of course, we don't know what the actual pre-sale rounds were. It was such a long time ago. I don't think it's relevant anymore. What is something I'm curious about is the circulating supply, that after 6 years, still only 10% of the supply is circulating. That is, some question marks around there. App.verowallet.io, circulating supply, just states the number. Okay, well, if we go to the Verasity website, you can see it's very clear, right? Extremely professional website, very smooth. I like it. I like this type of look and feel. A new standard in accountability, transparency. Through advertising ecosystem, first we patented POV module. We're transforming black box ad fraud industry. Okay, so it's focused on advertising and transparency. Verasity is an open ledger ecosystem bringing trust and transparency to digital advertising and payments. All right, so they have their own wallet, more than 300,000 users. They have a community which is double that size. Okay, that's a little bit strange, right? You would assume that this number would be close together. 20 local languages and 6 patents awarded, which is good, They were covered in Forbes, Business Insider, Nextech, Cointelegraph, and then the community. All right, so this is where we need to be. 30,000. Okay, so let's go to the Twitter. It's always good to see what they're up to. They are positioned as an infrastructure tech company built to fight ad fraud. Now, I come from a performance advertising background, right? So basically, clients pay large scale, like here's $1 million ad budget and I need an ROI of, let's say, 15%, spend as much as you can. An unskilled budget, when you're doing $10,000, $20,000 a day in advertising, it's not really a problem. As soon as you go 100 to 250,000 a day in spend on ads, that's where it becomes a problem. The bot traffic, right? The bot traffic is extremely significant, between 3 and 7%. And you're spending money on that, so you need to use like very advanced softwares. You need to file like legal cases, get the money back, blah 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 blah. So I definitely see a need for a product like this. I would just like to know better how it works, right? But you can see they're extremely active on Twitter, so that's definitely a good thing. Consistently posting, not every day, but like here's a 3-day gap, here's a 3-day gap, and here's like 3 times in one day, some comment on some things. So very much relative to the market, right? I like that, like how they're positioning, gets very good engagement as well. Okay, entering in a good mood. Let's see, because somebody's saying veterans. Good morning, fam. New profile header. Yeah, lots of spam though in the comments, so that's not good. POV migration, that's basically what the audience are waiting for, that project. Well, I don't think it's a dead project because they're consistently pushing, but yeah, overall it's looking good, right? There's some good potential there. Now the real question here is, what is the potential on this token, right? That is what you want to know, that's what I want to know. And we need to basically look at how is the token being utilized in the ecosystem. Used within our proprietary advertising stack for funding ad campaigns within the Vera wallet and as the basis for Vera Pay. Single token with a multitude of... So the wallet, right, and that's what we need to note here. Let me just open this in a new tab, right? So they're saying it functions within the ecosystem of the Vera wallet. Vera wallet only, quote unquote, only has 300,000 users. So that is not too significant, which I would say then justifies a $15 million market cap, right? In crypto, it's not uncommon to have, 1, 2 million people download your wallet, depending on what type of campaign. So they would need a little bit of a marketing push to make them relevant again, because 161 million FDV is basically validated on being an OG giant, and I would say not much more than that. Okay, so the token type is ERC777, has been on the market for 8 years. Staking rewards 15% yearly, which is good. Buy and hold and earn rewards. Okay, so choose your currency. Balance, stake, you can lock it up and then you get more. Just dilution, that's basically just what happens, right? So this is not a good utility. All that happens is more tokens into supply, price goes down because people can sell. Leadership team, Sergey, Kirillo, Daniel, another Daniel, no full names, which is a little strange for a project on this size. No, but I got a LinkedIn's linked, so you'll be able to. This guy's name is Mark Firth, Sergey, Mark Chetz. Okay, well, it's not super relevant as long as they're fully doxed. So what do they have coming up, right? That's relevant for the token. So Q1, it's not even up to date because we're already beyond Q2 at the moment. Dual token, Tron mainnet, content playback metrics, extend ad metrics, new KYC, on and off ramp options, multi-language support, closed caption, Vera player. Okay, so they're basically going outside of the ad space in that case. Offline conference attendance. Is that on your roadmap? That's dumb as fuck. We're going to attend conferences, nobody cares. Like, I mean, we can in terms of like marketing potential, but you're not going to put that on the roadmap. Fiat payment support for merch store. These are some bullshit utilities. Native community quests. Okay, well, it doesn't really say what it is that you're doing, right? Auto publisher integration. Okay, so this is what we want to see, like the product related shit. This not so much. WebEx ambassador program, text to video solution, rollout and enhancements. Okay, so they actually have like a merch section. And why would anybody want to wear Verasity merch? Discover visual merchandise. This is just like a print-on-demand shop that I can spin up in like 15 minutes. Terrible for a brand like this. So stupid. I don't understand why people do that. They think it's a utility, it's good for their brand. So fucking dumb. Okay, then we got some news. The latest news, which I assume is this article, was presented April 15, 2023. Don't put a news section if you're not going to keep it up to date. Simple as that, right? It's so simple. So here you can see that it's taking a little bit of a negative spin while we're digging deeper, right? We can see that the product updates are not really as advancing, are not really as cool. How many people are really working on this project, right? They have a leadership team here that, okay, fair enough, shows 5 people, right? It is an OG name. So will it have potential in the future? Oh, definitely, it will, right? But will it have the traction that we would desire for token appreciation? Probably not. So they have a whole separate website for the Vera wallet. Okay, so here they're referring to 350,000 VRA holders earning tokens, okay? Vera wallet users, 350,000, yeah? How difficult is it to update your fucking website? Because here it says 300,000 plus. Would be a lot better if it says 350,000. Oh, but it says plus. No. Here it says 660. So you're just lazy. That's what you're doing, right? You should be on point. You should be addressing things properly, because you have some random guy calling digits doing a review on YouTube and picking up all these things. Like, I could just go in there right now if I were convinced this was great and slap 100 grand into this token, pump it myself like 10% just today, 15%, right? But I'm not going to do that because it doesn't look good, right? Okay, so how much dilution do they offer? So they're giving an example on 100 million tokens. Yeah, okay, so we're going to look at how much that's worth. 100 million tokens. So they're going to make the calculator assume that I'm going to put 160 grand into this. Okay, that's a little retarded. So I'm going to lock it for 12 months, and the daily rewards are 41,000. Yeah, so the daily rewards are 41,000 tokens, which is 66 bucks. Yeah, so in a year, I'm going to get 15 million tokens. Yeah, which is basically 24K on 160K, which is very good. But what I'm going to do with these tokens, sell them if I can't do anything with them, which is basically continuous sell pressure. Therefore, staking on APY cannot be a sole utility. There needs to be a consumption component on the token, or otherwise you're going to get stuck, right? And when I say you're going to get stuck, I mean that you're going to have infinite sell pressure on the token, and the price will never move up. Okay, so yeah, not great. Now, taking into consideration all this negative second part of this review, right? What are we going to do with this price prediction? It's a difficult one because I would say it's very likely that we're going to see similar patterns, right? If we move the pattern a little bit, so during the bear market, which started here, you see massive swings on tokens like this, right? So this is 0.002 swinging to 0.01, right? Which is basically, in that case, like a 5x just in a matter of 4 weeks, right? Which is crazy. Now here again, 0.005 swinging to 0.015, which is 10 times the current price. Don't forget that. Yeah. So if you look at the all-time chart, like just fresh all-time, let me just refresh it for you, then it might look like, hey, this is a dead token. But that's the wrong indication, because it's only because of this massive green dildo candle that it looks like that. We need to exclude that from the view. You still see massive swings. You also get the proper indication that, mate, this token is down a lot right now. There is opportunity in that, definitely, right? Now, when we are here, so somebody's talking about negatives around, there's a lot of FUD, locked and loaded, blah, blah, blah. So there is more to it. Like, I think it's very important on these old tokens to go inside the community, go into Discord, go into Telegram. What are these people saying? Because the current holders, even if it pumps, right, like something like this pumps up, they can just crash it down, because with almost 100,000 token holders, there's a lot of liquidity in that market that wants to liquidate, right, and take their profits. So what is the potential truly if you're consistently fighting against that sell pressure? Limited. Now, as being an OG token, as having very good branding, so although I think there are some points that they can work on, I think the branding is top-notch overall, right? It looks really clean, really smooth, and it's a B2B infra tech product, right, on the advertising side. For retail users, it will not make much sense, right? So they keep that in the background. So all they really have to do is look good, you know, post bullish news about how the product is progressing and what they're doing. And in that case, we will see natural appreciation in an alt season on this token. Now, will it go back to all-time high at 7 cents? I would say this is extremely unlikely. And when I say extremely unlikely, I'm meaning 99.9% sure that that will never happen, right? Do you need it to pump that much? No, because just in the last month alone, if you would be at the all-time low in this case, you would already have made a 60% gain in what is this? This is like a very short period, in a 2.5 week period, a 60% gain. So the opportunities are very significant. The average gain was 30% last month. It's just moving with the market, and that's what you have with these OG tokens, which have a lot of holders. And that is where the opportunity is at. So for Verasity, a solid price prediction, proper movement, good feedback. I think we're looking at like a nice potential one, but nothing too crazy. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to have a look. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.